Hi everybody, Father Jim, the masked priest. You remember me? Seems like it's so long since we've done this. I don't know about all of you, but it just seems like days are just flying by. I can't believe that we're heading for the second Sunday of Advent already, and time just flies by. But that's okay. I just hope you're all well. Hope you're all wearing your masks. It's very important to do that, especially during these very dangerous times. I'd just like to catch you up on some of the things that are going on. Probably, if you didn't receive a mailing in the mail by now, you will very shortly, like probably tomorrow. And on it is the Christmas schedule. A lot of people are wondering how we're going to get through Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. And quite frankly, I've been wondering that myself. But we've come up with this. December 24th, which is a Thursday evening, Christmas Eve, there will be a 4 o'clock Mass here at St. Faustina and a 10 o'clock Mass at St. Faustina and also a midnight Mass at St. Faustina. So there are 3 Masses on Christmas Eve. In the past, we've always had 2 4 o'clock Masses because of the great numbers of people. We didn't know this year what was going to happen because it's so hard to make plans. We're not having a pageant, which means a lot of the parents and family members would come for it. So we're not having that. And then plus the restrictions that we have on the numbers in our church. So anyway, that's what we're going to have. Then on Christmas Day, December 25th, we're having an 8 a.m. Mass and a 10 a.m. Mass. And you'll be getting all of this in the mail. What we're going to ask you to do, however, is to decide which Mass you would like to be at and then send this back to us, or even just call it in. It doesn't matter with your name and choice. And we will do the drawing as usual, but it has to be a separate drawing, not the one we've been using since March. It'll be a separate one. We're trying to be as fair as possible, and we're also dealing with the unknown. So we'll do that. The other thing we're going to do, again, we don't know how that 4 o'clock Mass is going to go, whether it will be jam-packed or not, and there's no way to know ahead of time. But we want to be prepared. So we're going to do, in our parish center, the one under the school, a live streaming of the 4 o'clock Mass. And it'll be over there on the big screen TV, and we'll have chairs set up socially distanced. So if we do have an overflow crowd, they can always go over there and watch the Mass. And one of our deacons, or 2 of our deacons, whatever, will go over at communion time and give you the Holy Communion. So that's our goal, that's our plan. And just watch for the mail. And please send back your choice of what you'd like to come to. We can't guarantee everybody will be getting exactly what they want, but we're going to make every effort to try to accommodate everybody. The other thing is, always during Advent, we always have a penance service with 4 or 5 priests coming, and availability of confession. We cannot do that this year. Again, same thing as pandemic. But I know that confession is very important to people, especially during Lent and Advent seasons. So if you would just call us, call the parish. It'd probably be better to call my cell phone, but anyway, just call the parish, and Father Sean or myself will be available to meet you privately in the chapel. We can't have a big group come for obvious reasons, but we will have be able to space the appointments far enough apart so that you'll be able to come to receive the Sacrament of Reconciliation. And don't forget, if you haven't been coming to Mass and you're still missing communion, every Sunday afternoon from 12 until 12:30, we have a Eucharist available in the courtyard of the church. And I'm always really inspired by this number of people who one Sunday or a couple Sundays maybe now stood in the rain, cold wind, waiting to receive the Eucharist. What a beautiful, beautiful, overwhelming example of faith. I've always been inspired by it. So anyway, we're trying to get through this, and please be careful. Please take all this seriously, especially the mask and the social distancing and the washing of hands, because we just heard on the news tonight that the next 3 months could be very, very, very crucial and dangerous. So let's do what we can. It's an act of charity. It's an act of love. If you don't want to wear the mask, do it for others, because that's the way the virus is spread. So anyway, thank you for listening to all of that. We're in the Advent season, and one of the things I love about Advent, one of the many things I love about Advent, is the fact that we meet such interesting characters. this evening we had a mass, and it's Isaiah, and he has this great image of a mountain filled with good food, and I thought, well, I wonder if I could find that, and good wine, choice wine, and the separation of separation of heaven and earth is diminished, and we're one. A beautiful image from Isaiah, and along with everything else he talks about. And the other one is John the Baptist. I'm always fascinated by this man. We'll hear about him this Sunday, but he was a relative of Jesus, as you know, a cousin. And they think that Jesus knew him very well, and maybe even spent time with him. But anyway, he's out in the desert, out in the middle of nowhere, wearing sackcloth, eating locusts and wild honey. It doesn't sound very appetizing to me. I don't know, maybe the locusts are chocolate covered or something. That might make it a little more palpable. But anyway, and people were attracted to him. People were just looking for something. And of course, Jesus himself was baptized by John the Baptist as he began his own public ministry. So I find that to be kind of fascinating. So, the other one we meet a lot of times in Advent is, in fact, his feast day is this Sunday, is St. Nicholas. So, what? I can't believe somebody's knocking on the door. We should have put Richard, why didn't we put a sign up saying no admit? Well, whoever you are, come on in and let me know what you're... Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, Father, you were just talking about me.
I was. I didn't realize it was you.
Matter of fact, you should have had the door open for me.
I know. If I had known, I would have done that.
That's okay. I understand.
Who are you again?
St. Nicholas.
St. Nicholas.
My feast day is this Sunday.
Is it?
December the 6th
So
is my feast day. This Sunday.
You looking for a present or what?
No, I'm just looking for nothing. So I was...
Good, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, but I used to have a lot of... Besides, I was the bishop of Myra. It's near Turkey.
That's your honeypot, right?
No, near Turkey.
Oh, we had turkeys Thursday. Yeah.
I'm not calling you a turkey. I'm not calling you a turkey.
I wondered
but that's where I was the bishop for many years.
Oh my goodness.
I was a young bishop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
looks like you've aged. Is that because you're a bishop?
Yeah, I'm gonna take my mask off so I can talk better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, that talks better. I mean, that's better without the mask, because the mask talks pretty good, but we have to wear them in heaven too. So that's how it is, because the virus is all over, But anyway, I'm the only saint, Father, I don't know if you know this or not, that has the most churches named after me.
Really? Oh my gosh.
There's over 2,000 churches, and that's a fact, in this world that are named after me.
Wow, how about that?
There's 400 of them named after me in England. There's 300 in Belgium. Rome itself has 34 churches.
Wow.
Rome itself, of St. Nicholas.
Named after St. Nicholas.
There's 23 churches in the Netherlands, and there's a lot of them in this country as well, as you know.
Yeah.
There's one in Wilkes-Barre,
Sure.
Roman Catholic Church.
Yep.
There's a Russian Orthodox Church. And both the Latin Rite and the Greek Rite have a devotion to St. Nicholas, So that's why I have so many churches. And at one time, I had a lot of money. You
don't now?
No, I don't have it now. No, because my parents... Oh, where are you going, Father?
I'm just going to move over.
Oh, wait a minute. I had to give the money away because I inherited the money from my parents, and that's a fact. But then they died from the plague.
Oh.
And I inherited everything. Then I had a dream. God told me to give that money to the poor, and that's what I've been doing.
That's good.
Okay. Matter of fact, there was this 3 girls that wanted to get married, not at the same time, but their father didn't have money for a dowry. Remember a dowry a long time ago?
Yeah.
You don't hear about that now. But he didn't have the money for the dowry so that they could find a suitable husband. So what I did, I threw gold into their window at night for each individual girl when they got married.
Yeah.
And the gold went into the stockings that were by the drying by the fireplace. And I think that's how that started, where people hang their stockings,
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll see statues of me in some of the churches, especially the Greek Rite, that have these gold, they look like oranges, like three gold balls, like oranges. And it's in my hand in the statue, and it's because of that thing that I did for that family,
Isn't that nice?
So, and then that's why Saint Nicholas, Saint Nicholas, that's where it started. Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas. See, so now the Santa Claus that is the mostly celebrated, I really started with me. Okay, St. Nicholas. But a lot of people don't know that, and that's
Yeah.
the problem,
Yeah.
because it started with generosity of me giving my fortune away, and all through my life, I helped people in need.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that we have to be, especially during this Christmas season. And December the 6th, which is my feast day, in the European countries, that's the time that they exchange gifts, not at Christmas or Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But December the 6th, because that's the time they exchange the gifts. This way they can concentrate on Jesus at Christmas time.
Wow, that's
Because
beautiful.
Jesus is the reason for the season,
You got
right?
that right. Yes.
And now that I'm talking about that, I want to bring something up. This is my crochet, okay? And it looks like it's also called a staff, a shepherd's staff, right? And when I was in heaven, I saw your homilies like pretty long, and I always had the urge to go like this, like the Gong Show, and take you right off there.
That's very funny.
But God said no.
That's very funny. Saying
God said no, let him go. He's doing good. So I stopped, right? But I want to show you the thing here. The reason I
hold this for you?
want to hold that end. I want to put it this way, but I think it's too large. So I want to show the resemblance of my staff or the crochet with a candy cane, okay? Because if I took my crochet and went like this with it, it forms a G. And the originator of the candy cane did it purposely, because the G stands for what? Jesus, right? The G stands for Jesus. Now,
J.
the original candy cane that you see here, do you want to ask me any questions or no?
Well, you said G. It's really a J, right?
Oh, did I say G?
You said G.
Oh, see, the alphabet, I have to, I'm getting very old,
You are.
and I'm having trouble, because it sounds G, see?
J.
So I'm having trouble with the G's and the G's. So, yeah, you're right. Thanks for bringing that up. See? So I'm sorry what I said about your homilies, because you just straightened me out with that.
No, you're not.
You were an English teacher, weren't you?
Yeah.
That's why you knew that. That's why you knew
I
that.
know things like
right.
this.
So this is a J, standing for Jesus. Now this is the original color of the candy cane. Now there's so many colors, so many flavors, as you well know. I can put this down now, right?
Okay, sure.
Maybe we're going to put this down here,
Okay.
because we really don't need it, because I'm going to concentrate. You saw what the staff looked like, and now we're going to talk about the candy cane, which looks like my staff, right? And you see, this is the original colors, right? Now, the main color it started with was a white color, right? And first of all, the candy cane is a hard candy. And what does that symbolize? Do you know? Why is it a hard candy? Because the maker of the candy cane wanted that to symbolize Jesus being the rock of ages and the foundation of the church. So that's why it's hard, because of the stability of Jesus as being the rock and the foundation of the church. So the white symbolizes, the candy cane itself being hard symbolizes that. The first color of the candy cane is white. And why do you think it might be white? Do you have any idea?
Like purity.
Exactly right. See?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You're not only good in English, you're good in religion.
Oh.
So that's good. Right, because it stands for the purity of Jesus, the virgin birth, right? The white. Okay, now, there's on this candy cane, which is one of the originals, the original there's two kinds of stripes. There's a solid red stripe, and then there's three smaller stripes that are red. Do you see them? Okay, now the solid red stripe stands for the suffering and the blood that Jesus shed for us on the cross. Okay?
Right.
The smaller stripes, there's three of them on this candy cane. I don't know if you can see it. You see this? Okay, because I can't see it, but I'm just holding it up.
You're old.
Okay, but anyway, the smaller stripes stands for when Jesus was whipped at the scourging at the pillar, and it stands for the whipping and the stripes, the lashes that were on his back. Okay, so we have that. We have the colors, the red, the white. Now, some candy canes nowadays also have a green stripe, and that signifies the gift of God of giving us his son Jesus to us, okay? The green. But this one doesn't have a green, because that came after. Okay, then what does a candy cane taste like? What is it?
Sweet.
Sweet. Well, it's sweet, but it's also like a pepper.
Pepper. Yeah,
Yeah,
peppermint.
that's what I'm looking for.
Peppermint.
Peppermint. Yeah, and the reason for that is because peppermint goes hand in hand, and it's similar to hyssop. Okay, now we read about hyssop that was given to Jesus on the cross, right? Now the hyssop and the peppermint have a mint flavor. You talked about mint. Yeah, that's right. And this was used, the hyssop was used in the Old Testament for purification in the Old Testament, and it was a symbol of sacrifice. So this candy cane that we see, right, it's not only, and they say a long time ago, there's a legend that said they used to give it to the children in church many years ago and in the temple to keep them quiet, right? But that's just a legend. We don't know if that's true. So this candy cane, even though you might see it in different colors, now there's all kinds of colors, all kinds of flavors, you know that, right? But this is the original, and that's what it stands for, right? So I think that's important. But the most thing that this symbolizes is Jesus is the Christ,
Yes.
okay? And Jesus is the reason for the season. And it's a J, not a G. I knew that all the time, but I was just waiting.
You're just testing me.
I was testing you. Yeah, I knew that all the
Yeah,
time.
I knew you were.
But I
What
wanted to
do
see.
you think, though, about like modern times? I know you come from another age. About how it seems like people are forgetting that it's Jesus' birthday.
Yes.
You know, we call it the holiday or the holiday tree.
Right.
You know, not Christmas.
Right.
You know, the word Christmas itself.
Right.
Christmas is really the word for Christ's Mass.
That's right.
You know, that was the purpose of it. And it's not just about getting gifts, but it's about giving gifts, right?
Right,
Being
exactly.
charitable and loving.
Not
to
so
one another.
much receiving, but in giving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're a good example of that.
Yeah. Well, I tried to do that all my life, and that's why I'm the patron of so many countries too, because they honor that part where they know that I was doing. I'm not bragging now, I'm not bragging, because I had all this money, and if I didn't have that dream that God said, give it to the poor, give it to those in need, and I'm sure my parents had a lot to do about that, to give it out rather than keep it. So,
Our kids who are going to receive confirmation next spring, present 8th graders, with Mrs. Mavis, their teacher, and Mrs. Shargolabek, the coordinator of religious ed. I don't know if you heard about it. Come up with a great idea. It's called the reverse. I think they call it reverse Advent.
Oh.
Like the Advent calendar. You open the little tab every day of Advent, and you get a little treat of some kind.
Oh.
But they did away with the treat part. But every time you open a tab, you put maybe a can of soup in a box.
Oh.
And each day of Advent, you do the same thing. Every day, you put another something in the box.
Oh.
So then December 24th, they're going to collect all these boxes filled with food items
Oh, that's nice.
and
Yeah.
donate that to the food pantry.
Right.
And that's their way of giving for Christmas
That's
instead
nice.
of just
Yeah, very
receiving.
good.
So I think it's really a neat idea. So those of you who are out there listening to this, if you want to find out more about it, you can find the video online where this is explained. In fact, I think it's three of our confirmation students actually talk about it. And they're fantastic kids, and they did a
That's
great
good.
job.
That's
So
good.
check it out, and maybe you'd like to do that in your own home. Every day, put another item in a box of non-perishable food. As a way of saying it's not just about getting things, but it's about
Right. That's very good. I never heard that.
St. Nicholas is a good example
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. So I have to go to other places, so I'm not going to stay. So
No.
if you have other things to say, I want to tell all the parishioners, from St. Nicholas. And remember my feast day, the Sunday readings and the Sunday itself. The second Sunday in Advent is going to supersede my feast day, December the 6th. So I'll be on the back burner, but that's good because I'm giving anyway. That was my life. So I'm giving that to God. That's His day, But whisper a prayer, if you would, for St. Nicholas, okay? And ask for my intercession, and I'll talk to God, and see what we can come up with,
Let's say one right now, St. Nicholas. We ask your intercession upon us. We live in a very secular world, and we want our young people to know that it's really all about Jesus and not about getting gifts.
Exactly.
Well, getting gifts is not a bad thing,
No.
but it has to be second place to the actual giving and remembering that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Exactly.
So we ask your intercession to help us stay on track. Use your example to help us as we journey through these weeks of Advent. as we prepare ourselves, our minds, and our hearts and our families to receiving Jesus Christ once again into our world as the Savior of the world. And we ask this upon you in your holy name and the intercession of St. Nicholas of
Thank you.
Myra.
Maybe you can give us a blessing as an ending, or do you have more to say to the parishioners?
Well, I'm okay. I think, thank you for your presence here tonight, and thank you for the wonderful message you shared with us. May it continue to just remind us of these days. These are very hectic days. All we hear are commercials on TV, and buying and buying and buying and buying. And there's nothing wrong with getting gifts, by the way. So if anybody wants to give me one, I'd be open to it. But it's really not just about that. It's about Jesus.
Exactly.
And so you help us understand that.
Exactly. That's what I tried to do today, and I hope, especially with the children and the adults too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, it's too commercialized. It's too secular. We have to focus now, especially during this virus.
Right.
I think maybe it's a good time to focus on what it's really about. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's the first time we've been restricted so much during the Christmas season. So,
I like the image of John the Baptist who says, "Clear a path for Jesus. Clear a path." We all have to clear a path. You know, maybe not go out and actually clear a path, but in our hearts, or maybe we're still holding on to grudges, or maybe we're too caught up in the secular part of Christmas, or whatever it might be. You know, clear away all that,
Right.
and let Jesus come into our hearts and in our lives, into our homes, and make this a real spirit-centered celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ.
Exactly. Very good.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to this day, this time, and we ask God's blessing upon you all as you continue your Advent journey. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
God bless, and I'm going to put my mask back on and go our way.
Thank you.
And thank you, St. Nicholas, for your presence here tonight.
My pleasure. My
It's
pleasure.
always a wonderful
I'll see you
time.
next year. Hopefully you'll be in church.
Hopefully we'll be back to normal next week.
Okay,
Next year, rather.
Yeah.
And next week would be nice, too.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen next week.
No,
But we're
no.
going to keep working toward it, and we're going to make this
Right.
this happen someday.
Okay. God bless.
Okay. Where'd you park?
I parked.
Yeah.
I flew in.
Did you fly in?
Yeah.
Are your arms
Arms
tired?
are very tired. Yeah. Very, very tired. You know, I don't park. You know, and I don't like using these things. What's the guy's name? Michael.
Yeah.
I don't like using Michael.
You know.
No.
No.
We don't have those in heaven. You know.
No?
Nah. It's a lot of baloney. So that's why I just like to talk this way. You know.
Bologna is good, though.
Baloney is good. It's good with eggs.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Nick. Thank you very much. God bless.